Tech companies have been firing Americans left and right. Netflix, Microsoft, Amazon, Twitter, Lyft, etc. have all laid off Americans in the tech industry. Google is the latest business in the sector to announce that it was firing 10,000 employees while its stock has climbed. Let's get into the article. Google parent to lay off 10,000 employees in latest tech cuts. Among those losing their jobs are recruiters, corporate staff, and people working on engineering and product teams. Google's parent Alphabet Inc. is cutting about 12,000 jobs, or 6% of its workforce, it said in a staff memo Friday, as the technology sector reels from layoffs and companies stake their futures on artificial intelligence, AI. Alphabet's shares were up nearly 3% in the pre-market trading. The cuts came at a delicate moment for the U.S. company, which has long been the leader in key areas of AI research. Alphabet now faces a challenge from Microsoft Core in a branch of tech that can, for instance, create virtually any content a user can think up and type in a text box. Microsoft this week said recession woes were forcing it to shed 10,000 jobs, less than 5% of its workforce, and it would focus on imbuing its products with more AI going forward, a point Alphabet's CEO Sundar Pichai echoed in the memo. Alphabet faced a different economic reality from the past 2 years when it rapidly expanded headcount, decisions from which Pichai said he took full responsibility. Pichai became Alphabet's CEO in 2019. Still, he said Google was gearing up to share some entirely new experiences for users, developers, and businesses, and the company has a substantial opportunity in front of us with AI across our products. The company has been working on a major AI launch. Two people familiar with the matter told Reuters. One of the sources said it would take place earlier this year. Susanna Streeter, an analyst with financial services firm Hargreaves Lansdowne, said Alphabet's advertising business, which underpins Google's search engine and YouTube, was not immune to economic turbulence. Ad growth has come off the boil, a sharp contrast from the busy days of the post-pandemic reopening, which saw a surge in consumer spending, she said. The company faces competitive and regulatory threats as well, she said. It was unclear if Alphabet would take a one-time financial charge related to the job cuts. Microsoft's severance packages, lease consolidation, and hardware lineup changes will cost it more than $1 billion, it said earlier this week. Alphabet's layoffs followed a review of its people and priorities, leading to a workforce reduction hitting various geographies, Pichai said. Among those losing their jobs are recruiters, corporate staff, and people working on engineering and product teams, he added. In the United States, where Alphabet has already emailed affected employees, staff would receive severance and 6 months of health care, as well as immigration support. One person who said he worked on Google's Chrome browser posted on Twitter that he had lost his job even as he stepped into a leadership position on a project. Overseas, layoff notifications will take longer due to local employment laws and practices, Pichai said in a memo. Cut costs, preserve margins. The tech industry has been forced to freeze hiring and cut jobs as a clock has struck midnight on hyper-growth and digital advertising headwinds are on the horizon, Wedbush Securities analysts Dan Ives, Taz Kujalgi, and John Katsingris wrote Friday. Apart from Microsoft announcing 10,000 job cuts, or nearly 5% of its workforce, earlier this week, this is very important, Amazon said this month it is cutting 18,000 jobs, although that was a fraction of its 1.5 million strong workforce, while business software maker Salesforce was laying off about 8,000 employees, or 10% of the total. Last year, Facebook parent Meta announced it would shed 11,000 positions, or 13% of its workers. Elon Musk slashed jobs at Twitter after he acquired the social media company last year. So they mentioned Microsoft, Amazon, Google already, Salesforce, Facebook/Meta, Twitter. Those job cuts are hitting smaller players as well. UK-based cybersecurity firm Sophos laid off 450 employees, or 10% of its global workforce. Cryptocurrency trading platform Coinbase cut 20% of its workforce, about 950 jobs, in its second round of layoffs in less than a year. The stage is being set. Tech names across the board are cutting costs to preserve margins, ladies and gentlemen. Preserve margins and get leaner in the current economic climate, the Wedbush analyst said. So despite posting profits on Wall Street, they're cutting all of these jobs and firing so many people in the tech industry who are now laid off and who have to compete with other people in the in the job market, economic market. And this despite them posting profits, people. For example, Google, its shares rose up today, yet its stock advanced 3.7% on Friday after the paid search and online advertising behemoth announced 12,000 job cuts. So when they cut jobs, their stock goes up, ladies and gentlemen. And they said they're focusing on AI technology. You know what that means? Less people doing the job, less human beings. And that means more human beings are going to be unemployed and looking for jobs that we're going to have to compete with in the ever-increasing smaller and smaller job market. And you know they're not going to pay taxes on these AI, which they should. They should be paying taxes on every single AI that they employ. But the government is weak, plus they're lobbying. The government is weak against these tech companies, and they're lobbying the government so that they wouldn't have to pay taxes for this kind of stuff. Terrible news. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, hit the like button. If you're listening to this on the podcast, tweet me, let me know what you think. Take care.